Hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheraton Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. So the other day we had the Sheraton Park 500 going on. We had a little bit of a race between one of our younger gilts out in the pasture and Big Mama to see who was gonna give birth first. Well, the results are in. Happened last night. So stick around with us for a little bit. Let's show you what happened. We had a little bit of a twist with what was going on, so we had to do some last minute prep, but stick around with us. Let's talk about that, and also stay around to the end. We're going to name our winner for our $25 Amazon gift card on who guessed correctly. So stick around with us for a little bit. Let's talk about farrowing some pigs on pasture. What you got there?
Supper.
Supper.
Tomorrow night's supper.
Tomorrow night's supper. That's fresh chicken, y'all.
We're going to try them out before we have a chicken class. So
yeah.
Make sure they're going to be all right.
Supper. Okay, so last night we came out, had some folks that came by the farm just to kind of look around, wanted to see everything. So we came down here to the pasture where all the piglets are, because everybody likes to see baby piglets. And that dark colored gilt was laying right over here in the field, and we noticed that she had a ton of piglets that were nursing on her. All of these little guys here were over there nursing on her because she had come into milk, and they were wanting to get at that colostrum. And for those of you that may not know, colostrum is a mother's first milk. It's true in humans and cows and sheep and pigs. Basically any animal that lets down its milk for its young, that colostrum is the first milk. And the importance of first milk is there are a lot of natural immunities and things in that milk that helps those animals get off to a good start, build immunity and that kind of thing. Well, it's also very thick and apparently very desirable among piglets, because a bunch of these guys were over there trying to get at it. So a little trick that we learned last year in the Farrow to Finish school up at Farm Builder was, if you've got a mom that has not farrowed or is late farrowing and there are some older piglets in the field with her, you need to sequester her, or if not, those older piglets will basically drain her of her colostrum. So for the dark colored gilt, we set up a pen. I know there's a little break in the video here. I'll explain what happened here in just a second. We set up a pen for her last night. During the day yesterday, I had brought this roll of hay down for her to start nesting in, and whenever we saw the other piglets begin to nurse on her, we came up and set up this pen. It is not pig proof at all. At the very best, it's older piglet resistant, just to keep them away from her so that they don't drain her of that colostrum. So this morning we came down, we just left her overnight. We could tell she was getting ready to go into labor. So this morning we came down, and first this dark colored gilt gave birth to her piglets. Looks like she gave birth to 12. One was stillborn, so that left 11. And then the reason I stopped filming just a minute ago, there was one behind that has an injury, and Sandra was able to pick it up without it squealing too much. So I got it, and we've got it in a bucket up there next to the side by side. So we're going to take it to the house, see if we can figure out what's going on, see if we can take care of it and bring it back and put it back on this pig here. But we've certainly not counted boys v girls. Just stand here looking for about every girl I see a boy, so hopefully we're at about 50-50. It's usually the way it works out. Good looking piglets. She gave birth unassisted. We didn't mess with her at all last night. We just let her do her thing. And she looks like she is a pretty daggone good mama. So 11 more piglets to the group. 34 plus 11. Somebody check me on my math. Shouldn't do math on camera. That's best I can tell. That's about 45. So we're at 45 piglets right now. But looking good. We're going to check this one out up here and see if we can figure out what's going on with it. But I don't know how well y'all can see there. And I'm not going to jump over in there and disturb her. Let her be. So they're doing well. We're going to leave her in this kind of sequestered for a day or two. We'll let these guys have a little mother baby time, bond really well, give them a chance to nurse as much as they want, let them become a little bit more mobile and get up and about, so that they can fend for themselves, because they've got 34 other cousins in here that are going to give them a time whenever they get out here. So opportunity to try out try out something that we had learned at the school. So if you have a pig that is going to be farrowing days or weeks behind the rest of your sow group, probably may need to sequester her by herself so that her piglets have chance to get at that colostrum. Otherwise, this crowd here, I mean, these guys are just doing fantastic. I do have one here that appears to have a bit of a urinary blockage, we think is what's going on. It's this one right here on the right. I don't know if you can see that swelling around his scrotum, and then it does extend to his abdomen. Sometimes called a pee pocket. Typically the advice is to cull those pigs. We're just watching him. I mean, he seems to be doing fine otherwise. He's very, very mobile. He nurses fine, acts as normal as all the rest of them, seems to be growing okay. So we've not caught him up to try to do anything to that. Could be it could be an infection pocket, I suppose, but it certainly does appear to be a bladder, some kind of bladder issue, based on the location and what it looks like and some other pictures that we've seen. So I'm going to continue to watch him. Otherwise, we've been, from the best we can tell, everybody has been 100% healthy and is doing really well. So that's kind of the piglet update. But excited to get a couple more, 11 more. I don't know if this other one up here is going to make it, but that's why I keep saying 10. But excited to get 11 more here on the farm. And yeah, Mama over there, she done really good. Super happy for her. Supper coming.
Well, it's going pretty good.
Moving along, ain't it?
Yeah. Won't be long now.
So the little piglet that we found out there with the new mom, got it up to the house, kind of evaluated it, and it did have a non-survivable injury. Had a big laceration, or a big cut across its abdomen, and there were a lot of the intestines that had come through the laceration. So it would certainly have been impossible to have reduced that, put that back, and then sutured that piglet up. It would have ended up with a bowel blockage infection, and it would have not had a good outcome long term. So in order to alleviate the suffering that piglet was going through, we elected to euthanize it, and so we did. And that's part of farm life. That's just, sometimes things like that happen. There's nothing you can do about it, and we certainly don't want any of these animals to suffer unnecessarily. So certainly couldn't, something like that, you can't just leave it in the field and just let it die, because you can obviously tell that it's suffering. Unlike the piglet that we showed that had looks like it's got the bladder infection or the bladder blockage. We think that's what it is. We don't know, but that piglet is very mobile. It's growing. It acts normal. So we'll just continue to watch it and see how it does. And I know it's really easy for folks to kind of armchair quarterback that kind of thing and say, well, you should this and you should that, and I certainly respect other folks' opinions. But whenever you're kind of in the heat of the battle and it's happening in front of you, you've got to make the best decision that you can make based on, you know, your judgment and the evidence that you've got in front of you, and certainly putting all that in the context of doing what's right for the animal. So in this particular instance, with that severe of an injury, we elected to euthanize the piglet. Hate to do that, but that piglet's not going to have a good outcome no matter what anyway. So another part of farming. So I guess in our little race, here's going to be our second place finisher, Big Mama. She still has not farrowed, and in the interest of full disclosure, went back and looked. We had actually done a video on when we artificially inseminated Big Mama, and I went back and looked at that video and looked at the published date, because I remember I filmed it on one day and I actually published it the next day. And it looks like when I put her down on the calendar, I put her down on the calendar a week early. So that's on me. So certainly didn't mean to mislead anybody, but I made a little bit of a mistake on calculating when she was due. She's due tomorrow by our new calculation. She's due tomorrow, but you think she's not going to go till Thursday, right? Sandra thinks she'll go Thursday. Sandra thinks will go 2 days afterwards. So no swelling at all back here in the vulva area. She is in milk. She does have plenty of milk, but she's had milk for a week now. And again, I'm wondering if that's not part of a function of her age and the fact that she has farrowed in the past. So to be seen. And then the last pig that we've got left to farrow on the farm this spring is this girl right here. This is Little Mama. This will be her third farrowing. So this is her third pregnancy as well as Big Mama's third pregnancy. She is not due until she's not due for a week, so we're really not expecting her probably for another 9 or 10 days actually. But we'll see how she ends up finishing out. She's just not as big as she has been in the past. I think we got a couple of good doses in her. Big Mama is a little bit more, it's hard to tell on camera, Big Mama's a little bit more round in the belly. So be interesting to see what the litter numbers end up turning out to be on these two girls. They're over here in a new paddock. Again, we built this paddock for them one day last week, so they're in good shape. Plenty of green vegetation in here. And then put them a roll of hay in as well. They've really not messed with it very much. Put it over here kind of in this little corner. They've been digging on it a little bit. You can see they were nesting just a little bit on this one side right here, and even a little bit over here on the other side, not quite as much. But this is where we're hoping these girls will end up farrowing at. Will be over here in this hay bale. I got a string or two to pull on there. So anyway, so that's where we're at on farrowing numbers. That's who we got left. Got 2 left. So we've now farrowed 6 pigs on the farm this spring. Right now we're at 45 piglets. So we'll feel pretty lucky about how this has worked this year. All right, so who's our winner? Who picked the gilt to farrow first before Big Mama did? Had a lot of guesses, and we really appreciate y'all leaving your guess and giving the thumbs up. That really helps the videos to show that YouTube sees the engagement, whether it's a thumbs up or a comment. So, you know, anytime y'all get a chance, please give us a thumbs up and please leave a comment down below, even if it's just thanks for the video. We appreciate that. So our winner is Doug Combs. Doug picked the gilt. I have sent Doug a message through YouTube, but Doug, if you didn't see that and you're seeing this now, if you will, send me your contact information, chuck@sheratonparkfarms.com. I will get you your $25 gift card. So 10 more piglets. That gets us to 44. I think we've had pretty good numbers. We've had a pretty good farrowing season so far, outside of that one gilt that gave birth to 11 and ended up losing 7. That's been the only hiccup that we've had. Everybody's done really well, despite the fact that we don't use farrowing crates or a bunch of barns or provide a lot of infrastructure other than just for those girls to give birth into a big round hay bale. So we're pretty pleased with what's going on. Happy with these pigs. We think they're doing well. And that's the type of genetics that we're wanting to tap into, are those animals that can handle that birthing process without a whole lot of human interaction or without a whole lot of infrastructure. So seems to be working so far. I think we'll get better over time as we learn some lessons and improve our processes overall. Busy time here on the farm. We're in the middle of spring. We got more babies coming. We've got pastured poultry processing classes. We've got pig workshops, all that stuff. I'm going to put a link in the description down below. If you're interested in checking some of that out, please do. We'd love for you to come out and be with us on some of our events here at the farm. We love having folks out. But anyway, rambled enough. I'm going to post a link to a couple other videos over here. Other stuff we got happening. Like Sandra says, things about to get out of hand. But if you've not hit that subscribe button, hit subscribe. Follow along with us. We appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks.